Houston, station on 2 for cameras.
Go ahead, Sonny.
For camera 9, do you want the published numbers for pan and tilt in Zoom, or do you want them as they're set up on the monitor right now?
We'll take the published numbers, Sonny.
In work.
Right now, the teams both in Houston and at SpaceX's control center in Hawthorne, California, are conducting the go, no-go to leave this 30-meter hold point and proceed on up toward the International Space Station to a distance of 10 meters. That'll be the capture point for Dragon. As you can see there, the station's arm is poised and ready for operation by Aki Hoshide. He will be the one that will be at the controls as the arm reaches out and grabs onto Dragon at that 10-meter hold point. There is a live view of Hoshide as well as Sonny Williams inside the cupola as they get ready to grab this spacecraft with the station's arm. Right now, the two vehicles are over the Indian Ocean at an altitude of 251 miles, heading up toward the northeast.
Station Houston on 2, no rush, but just letting you know that Houston flight is tagged up with Hawthorne, and we're just standing by on your call at the end of Step 3.
Copy that. Houston Station, at the end of Step 3, crew is ready for Dragon approach to capture point.
All right, we copy, Sonny. Houston flight is going to give MCC Hawthorne the go to initiate the approach from 30 meters. And right now we think that it'll probably be in the darkness when we arrive at the capture point. And so there's no rush again. They can hold there. If the lighting doesn't look good for you in the camera views, you don't like them.
Okay, copy that.
This is Mission Control Houston, so the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft basically on its final stop before proceeding to the capture point. Right now it's at 30 meters. It's about to move on toward 10 meters. It'll take about 17 minutes to move from this 30-meter hold point to the 10-meter capture point.
Station Houston, Dragon has begun approach from 30 meters. Perform Step 5 of 1.102.
Copy that. We see the VV mode is approach, and the primary range is decreasing. We see range and range rate as well. Do you want to block Bravo?
Not right now. We have good KU.
Copy that.
As you can see, the sun is setting on the Dragon and the International Space Station. These two vehicles are up over China right now, heading up toward the northeast. They're going to be passing over directly above Shanghai, and then over parts of South Korea, basically running parallel to Japan. You heard the call from C.J. Sturko just a few minutes ago saying that even though we're running a bit ahead of schedule, they're really going to rely on the crew to take a look at what the lighting is outside. Obviously, they want to have a good view of Dragon. as Aki Hoshide, with Sonny Williams backing him up, reaches out with the station's arm to grab onto Dragon. They will come out of this nighttime pass that they're about to enter into right about at the top of the hour. The capture time still scheduled for 6:22, although it could take place just a little bit earlier than had been planned. But we will see how these next few minutes go as Dragon continues to close in on the space station itself. Dragon is now at 26 meters away from the station, closing in a little bit slower than what was done before. 0.03 meters per second, as we talked about. As Dragon gets closer and closer to the station, this rate of closure slows down than the previous phases of flight. It's a very methodical process, but we still have about 13 minutes to go before Dragon will get to the 10-meter hold point. Dragon is now at 22 meters. This again is a view on board the International Space Station. As the crew takes a look at this, you can see the green overlay. Dragon is pretty much where it's expected to be. But the sun setting on the two vehicles as they pass high above South Korea. Their altitude right now 261 miles above the face of the Earth. Heading up toward the northeast over parts of Japan, then over the Pacific Ocean. Dragon is still clearly visible with lights from the International Space Station as it continues to close in on the complex itself. It is within 20 meters at this point in time, heading up to 10 meters. If you look closely from time to time, you'll see some flashes around the vehicle. Those are actually not Dragon's jets firing, even though we have seen those this morning. Those are thunderstorms above the Pacific Ocean as the two vehicles fly over nighttime above the Pacific Ocean. So keep your eyes open, and you may see some fairly dramatic video as this capture draws nearer. The Dragons at the 10-meter capture point. Both teams here in Houston and also in Hawthorne, California, are doing their final go-no-go for capture. This will take a few minutes, and then they will call up to the crew that everybody is go. At this point, Aki Hoshide getting ready to steer the station's 58-foot-long robotic arm. It'll reach out and grapple Dragon coming up here very shortly. At this point in time, the two vehicles are high above the Pacific Ocean, about to make a northwest to southeast pass.
We're going to turn the strobe light off.
Copy.
These right now are confirming the Dragon's in a good position for capture. Everything looks good right now. We'll command Dragon to go into a mode that is known as free drift. This is something that all vehicles are put into before they're grappled or right as they get close to the station. Basically, it prevents any inadvertent steering thrusters from firing.
Conditions are confirmed and the crew is ready for Dragon capture.
Okay, Sonny, stand by for the go to perform capture. We're waiting for a solid AOS, and we will call you back. It's going to be ready for just 2 more minutes.
Okay, copy that.
So they're going to wait for communications with the space station to clear up over the next couple of minutes, and then they're going to give the crew the go for capture. It looks like they will be doing this ahead of time this morning. Our time was scheduled for 6:22, but everything's been running ahead of time. We're about 17 minutes away from the space station and Dragon entering into sunlight, but as you can see here with the lights turned on, the outside of the International Space Station, they have a pretty good view of the vehicle. At 55 miles. That is the bottom side of the International Space Station you see there. At the very top is where Dragon will be installed here later on this morning. Sticking down there at the bottom is pressurized mating adapter number 2. That is the former home of the space shuttles. On the left and right is the Columbus Laboratory and the Kibo Laboratory. But Ike Hoshide and Sonny Williams right now inside the cupola in a different part of the station, getting a pretty good view of this vehicle outside the windows. Ike Hoshide is about to steer the station's 58-foot long robotic arm to reach out and grab onto the grapple fixture on Dragon and bring it in toward the space station. Right now the crew is just getting the camera set up on board so they get the view that they're looking for, and aligning the tip of the arm up. So the arm is now moving toward Dragon. Aki Hoshide is steering it. Sonny Williams is watching over, making sure that everything is going down according to the plan. These two spacecraft are 252 miles above the Pacific Ocean, just off the coast of California, almost directly beside Los Angeles and Hawthorne, California, where the SpaceX team is housed. The robotics officer estimating about 3 meters between the robotic arm and Dragon. They're confirming that the Dragon is in free drift. It is not steering itself any longer. About 2 meters away, everything lined up as expected. See the attachment point there? That is where the arm will grab onto. One meter left. Capture confirmed at 5:56 a.m. Central Time. The two vehicles are currently 250 miles above the Pacific Ocean, just to the west of Baja, California. Once again, 5:56 a.m. Central Time, 6:56 a.m. Eastern Time. Dragon is captured.
Houston, station on 2. Capture complete. We got to go for post-capture reconfigure. Looks like we've tamed the Dragon. We're happy she's on board with us.
Wait.
Thanks to everybody at SpaceX and NASA for bringing her here to us and the ice cream.
We copy, Sonny. Nice flying. We'll put the post-capture configuration in work.
Expedition 33 Commander Sonny Williams there talking with the ground teams here in Houston and, of course, in SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California, congratulating both teams on the arrival of SpaceX's Dragon to the International Space Station. The Expedition 33 team has now captured Dragon successfully at 5:56 a.m. Central Time, 6:56 a.m. Eastern Time. This vehicle is taking up hundreds of pounds of supplies for the expedition crews on board the space station, 260 pounds of crew supplies, 390 pounds of research and experiment equipment, 225 pounds of vehicle hardware, 7 pounds of computers and supplies, and some ice cream, as you heard Sonny Williams there thanking the crews for. As we talked about at the beginning of our broadcast, this vehicle has a unique capability to bring cargo back to Earth, and that is what it will do in about 2.5 weeks at the conclusion of this mission. This spacecraft is taking up 882 pounds of supplies, but it will bring home more than that. 1,673 pounds will come home to Earth after the 18 days that Dragon will spend attached to the station. The next major milestone for us will be whenever Sunny and Aki trade places and bring Dragon on into its berthing with the orbiting complex. That is coming up later on this morning once we get an estimation of exactly when that's going to take place. According to the timeline, we will pass that on to you. This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, the Dragon spacecraft has been successfully grappled and captured by the crew of Expedition 33 aboard the International Space Station. It took place at 5:56 a.m. Central Time, 6:56 a.m. Eastern Time. These two vehicles were 250 miles above the Pacific Ocean, just to the west of Baja, California. Both Sonny Williams and Aki Hoshide, two of the crew members of Expedition 33 that have been working on this morning, are still inside the cupola looking at this spacecraft outside the window as the sun rises on the two of them. They are currently still over the Pacific, heading down toward the southeast, skirting the western edge of South America. But there is a view of the berthing port of Dragon. It will soon be mated with the Harmony node, the bottom side, the Earth-facing side of that portion of the International Space Station. We're standing by to get an estimation of what time that's going to be taking place this morning. But everything going fairly smooth today as Dragon closed in on the International Space Station, performed a series of hold points to where go, no-goes were given by both Houston and SpaceX. All of Dragon's navigation systems, the LiDAR, the thermal imagers, and the GPS systems worked as expected. And the spacecraft is in good shape.